All right, everybody, can you hear me? Just want to check a few odds and ends here, make sure audio is working. The video appears to be working. I was checking that out a little bit earlier on my side. Let me know in the live chat if anything looks off. Retired old guy. I'm rooting for Silver too. I've been lucky, man. My probably last 4 or 5 weekly pickups, I've found at least one silver in every 2 boxes. So hopefully we'll find a little silver in at least one of these 2 boxes. That'd be nice. So audio sounds good. Sounds like everything's working. Very good. Well, I just so you guys know, I mean, this is just a hangout. I didn't really even plan on doing this till about 30 minutes ago. And so I didn't set up to sell rolls or anything. Don't expect anybody to buy anything. Just wanted to hunt some rolls and hang out with you guys and catch up with you in the chat. So that's why we're here tonight. So hopefully we find some silver. Hopefully we have a little bit of fun. And you guys feel free to talk about whatever topic you like. Ask me questions as we go. I may not move as fast as a lot of other coin roll hunters tonight. I'm really just hanging out and having fun. So everybody doing all right tonight? All right. Well, I'll tell you what time is it? 9:03. We've got a bunch of us in chat here. Looks like 3, 6, 9, at least 10 or 11 of you. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll just, let me see. Show me Stacker's doing some overtime. Give me a second. I'm going to see. I wanted to try to do a poll. How about we do, which box should we start with, guys? Box number 1 or box number 2? Just put it in the chat. A 1 or a 2, and we'll see which one comes up most, and we'll go with that box first. So, box 1, box 2. Savoy sticks, all good here. Oh, found some silver today. Good for you, bud. Was it 90% or 40? Looks like box 2 is winning currently. Sorry, I don't know the command to throw a poll up on the screen. Otherwise, I would do it. Oh, you found 90 and 40. Well, good for you. Emil, you can't vote twice. All right, just looking at the list, it looks like maybe we got more 2s than 1s. We're going to hunt them both, so it doesn't really matter. But I just wanted to give you guys the choice. So we'll get box number 1 out of the way. We'll put box number 2 kind of front and center. Emil really wanted us to do box 1, so he's going to keep voting for it. You guys are silly. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight, especially on short notice. I'm sure you probably just got some notifications, and if you did, I appreciate you having those notifications turned on, which means you're also subscribed, which I really, really appreciate. So thank you so much. I'm actually going to hunt this a little bit like I do my regular videos. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I'm going to do like 5 at a time. We'll lay them out, and then we'll look through them for varieties, and that way we can kind of edge hunt real quick and then look for varieties and back and forth. So, Moist Owl, you say we're in the same town. Are you in the Marietta area? Well, when you say shops, I'm assuming you mean coin shops. I'm not a huge fan of the closest coin shop. I mean, I go to it, but I don't buy much actual silver there. I typically stock up on supplies and just chat with the guys that work there to gain knowledge, because it's the Robinson coins up in the Marietta Square. They have a great shop. They have everything. Numismatics, bullion, gold, you name it, they have it. But it's just really, really expensive. So I don't shop there very often. And I just recently found a silver and gold shop up in the Roswell area that I've only been in once, and the guy that owns it and runs it is not real talkative and not real. What's the word I'm looking for? He's not real jovial. Like, it's tough to carry on a conversation with the guy, but his pricing was a lot better. So if you were just looking to buy, I would check that shop out. I can't recall the name of it off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and look it up. And I've got this really far away from me. I got to get this closer. There we go. That's better. So let's see here. Now, Southern Metal, he's north of us. He's got a coin guy that he really recommends, but he's the guy's like 30 to 45 minutes from where I live. And I mean, Marietta's not very big, so probably from where you live. I've never been out there. But according to Southern Metal, the guy has pretty good prices on stuff. And you'll, just so you guys know, you'll see me skip some coins that may potentially be varieties, and it's just because I think they're ugly and just, or I see something like Ring of Death on them, and even if there is a variety there, I just don't care. So if you see me skip stuff, don't yell at me. I know, I saw it. I just skipped it on purpose. Is that Diggin' Dave in the chat? What's going on, man? How are you, Diggin' Dave? I don't think I said hi to Zaydogs either. Good to see you. Coin flip. So I bought a box of pennies like 2 months ago and started hunting it and never finished. And last night I decided to get it out, and I had filmed like half the box 2 months ago and couldn't remember how it left off, and I couldn't find where I actually dropped all the finds that I had up to that point. So I ended up just hunting most of the rest of the box off camera. And of course, it's the first penny box I've had in a long time that had like 14 or 15 wheat pennies in it, and they were wheat pennies from the 30s. So probably would have made a pretty good video, but I unfortunately just took too long to hunt it and forgot where I was. So trials and tribulations of a coin roll hunter, I guess. You found a 76D quarter last night, FS 101. So that's the bicentennial DDO quarter, right, Diggin' Dave? I have that on my bucket list. I have never found one of those. I want to find one, but I have never found it. Would love to, though. Now, Dave, is it in good enough condition that you know it's worth decent money, or is it like a G4 or a G8 kind of coin and it's cool to find but still not really worth much? Because that's the other problem with this, is you spend all this time trying to find a variety and then it's in like, you know, VG condition and worth $12. And that's pretty frustrating too. All right, so that's 5 rolls down. Well, AU50 is probably pretty good. Let's check that out. Hang on, I got my red book over here. Let's look at that. Let's look at that together, boys and girls. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Red Book, it is a coin that has all of our U.S. coinage in it. And it has book prices. So take every price in here with a grain of salt. But, and of course they don't have the variety in here. Well, they suck. All right, well, never mind. There goes my plug for Red Book. So Red Book doesn't cover all the varieties, but it does cover most regular coinage. Let's do this. Let's check this out together. Sorry, Dave, if I'm ruining anything for you, but I'm just real curious what that's worth. So you said, where did they put the bicentennial? Is it at the bottom? Yeah, here it is. I don't know if you said it was a D or not, but let's, for fun, say it was. And I think you said it was the 101. Did you say it was the 101? And if it's the 101, AU50 is still $350, which is pretty cool. Well, that's a pretty amazing find right there, Dave. I'll be real honest with you. I'd be real happy with a coin. Even if you said, look, to sell it raw, you went back 1 or 2 grades. I mean, you're still talking a $200+ coin for something you found in a box of quarters. So that's pretty cool. That's exciting. Good for you, man. Congrats. All right, let's see here. We have the Impizzy Variety channel. You're right, man. Let's find some silver. So for anybody just dropped in, I'm going to do this live like I kind of do my videos, where I'm going to open 5 rolls at a time so we can edge hunt. And if we hit a little silver vein, we'll have a lot of excitement all rolled into one small area, and then we'll hunt them back for varieties. Now watch, this will be the one time I don't find any silver in these Brinks boxes in the last like 6 or 8 weeks. We're going to have faith. We're going to find some silver. I've got a couple of shiny guys in here and one kind of green, but I don't think it's silver. That's just an ugly 71. 1980. And a 71. All right. Well, let's look for some varieties here real quick. And I'm just going to put those aside, and we'll check them once I get to a critical mass, just to keep things moving. Coin flip. I hunted a $50 box today off camera quick and got a 42 Walker and a bicentennial silver in awesome shape. So the bicentennial was at a San Francisco proof? I guess it would have to be, wouldn't it? So I've gotten to the point where a single silver is all it takes to make the box worth it. I used to feel like if you weren't getting 4 or 5 or 6, but with the way silver kind of comes and goes, I'm just happy if it's a steady, slow stream of silver. Of course, I much prefer getting those boxes that have 10 or 15 or 20 in it, but... So, coin flip, you found a Business Strike silver bicentennial. I didn't think they made those. Moist House has recently picked up a lot of 3,000 $50. So I don't understand your question. So you picked up 3,000 $50, and then I see 90 and 40%. You picked up a lot of 3 Kennedy $50. So keep spelling that out for me. So if it's just a 2005P, I would say no. It is not worth getting graded. And we can look at Red Book here in a minute, because I think you're going to find even in like MS65 condition, it's worth like $4 and just not worth your time and money to get graded. Got a lot of 71Ds in here today. So Diggin' Dave, if you're still in the chat, that AU50, that Anax AU50, now, was that one you had graded or one you bought that way? Assuming you are still in the chat. Saw that ugly one already. All right, so 10 rolls down. Emil, I know you love those Benjis. I found a Benji my last hunt, I think. Maybe not my last hunt. It was a hunt before that. No, it might have been the last one. I like finding Benjis too. It was a 1959, and I got a 1946 Walking Liberty, I think, in that same hunt. And while Benjis are my favorite $50, I do love finding walkers, especially if they're in decent condition. But the problem is most of the time when you find walkers in a roll of $50, they're all pretty much slicked out. At least that's what happens for me. So, Zaydogs, it's funny you say you just started yours. So when I first decided to get into, you know, basically coin roll hunting and buying silver and that sort of stuff, I haven't been doing, you know, I'm not a lifelong stacker or anything. There might be some NIFCs in that roll. SD Bullion at the time was doing, I forget what it was. Basically, you got, I think like, I'm going to say this all wrong now. I want to say it was like 2.5 rolls or something like that of 90% silver for face value. They were running like a Black Friday deal. And I picked that up, and in those couple of rolls, I filled 90% of a Benji book. But we got a miscellaneous. We got a little double necklace coin going on here. I guess you can pick if you want it this way for Kennedy or that way for the Eagle. So we'll call that a fine. It's a miscellaneous. It's nothing special, but it's a necklace coin. Wow, Maria Flores. If you found 44 wheat pennies in a single box, you need to let us know where you live. I think my record for Wheaties in a single box is like 14. And I may have only found one steel penny ever hunting pennies. Now, that said, I mean, if you average out all my time coin roll hunting for the last 3 years, I probably do 1 box of pennies a month. I know there are people that do 5 boxes a week. I just can't, I don't have the stamina to do that much. But if you found 44 Wheaties in a box, that's amazing. So, Create Craft, I've been looking for that 2015 DDO for quite some time. I've never found one of those, but what you're saying for your wheat finds is pretty much me in a nutshell. When I do find Wheaties, the greater majority are 40s and late 50s wheat pennies. I don't get a lot of early Wheaties. I don't know if you were in the chat earlier, but I ended up hunting a box of pennies off camera, at least most of it last night. And I had 3 pennies in a row, all 1934, which those are the oldest pennies I've found in quite a while. I did find, I think, a 1920 earlier this year, but that's once. So doing things cheap, yeah. I mean, I have found Wheaties in the Coinstar. Not Wheaties, sorry, steel pennies in the Coinstar. But I don't find many of them in rolls. I'm gonna put my varieties under the scope when I get to the end of the top part of this box. We're on roll 15 right now. Wow, 1909 Zaydogs, you got 60 in a box. So Diggin' Dave, I don't know if you answered me earlier. That Anax AU50 bicentennial DDO that you have, Did you buy that, or is that one you found and got graded? And let me know, my computer, when it dings like that, if that's like crazy loud, let me know. I don't know if I know how to turn it off, but let me know. I did have a Coinstar the other day. I was at Kroger, and I've been checking Coinstars for months, and I mean, might find the occasional rare penny, but this Coinstar had almost $4 in random change in it. No silver. There was like $3.50 in quarters, and then there was a bunch of nickels and dimes, and then probably 4 or 5 pennies maybe. I really wanted to be silver, but it's not. That guy looks interesting. He's kind of toned. Probably going to be like a 1981 or something like that. Let's see. Oh, 1972, I was way off. Just real pretty. It's a real nice $50. What happened to you last night, Dave? Oh. So what'd you say here? No, all three I have found coin roll hunting. I have the one graded. I sold one raw, and then I just found my third last night. That's awesome, but I know you do crazy volume. You do like 5 times my volume, but that's awesome. You found them. So M. Pizzy says, I was at the Gold Cabin in Show Low, Arizona the other day, and he was completely out of constitutional silver save for a 1956 quarter. Wow, $6 for 1 quarter. That's probably fair with today's premiums. I struggle to pay that for stuff I can still find in rolls, but I mean, if you got to get it, you got to get it. Yeah, I have found silver Canadian. I don't know why I'm looking at that way. I have gotten silver Canadian change as well in a Coinstar. Not a lot, but I have done that in the past as well. Struggling ripping paper tonight. So I'm opening roll 20 here. Constitutional super popular right now. What is it? I think she left. Misty Owl. She was asking about the coin shop here near where I live, and apparently we live. And that's one of my big problems with them is I've tried to buy Constitutional from my local shop, and I've tried to sell Constitutional. And literally, you'll walk in with a bunch of Constitutional, and he'll, let's say it's 90%. He'll say like, "Oh, I'm buying that right now for, 16 face, which is under spot." And then you're like, "Well, hey, I want to buy this roll you have over here, and it's like 28 times face." And the spread on, just the guy's spread for buy sell is crazy in my opinion, and it just bothers me. Yeah, 20x really, honestly isn't too bad. Silver's dropping again, but 2-3 weeks ago, had I been able to find some 90% for 20x, I probably would have bought some of it. But I ended up buying a bunch of other silver that I posted a video on just a little while ago. Yeah, my best score lately, and I think I did I did a short on it. I walked into a bank down by my airport, the Atlanta airport, and they had one roll behind the counter. And I bought it, and I don't remember, I think it had 390% silvers in it, if I recall. And, for going through $10 worth of halves for 390s, I'll take that all day long. Over going through tons and tons and tons. Yeah, so coin flip, if I could go into my local coin shop and the guy had barbers for 21x halves and they were in decent shape, I would be hard pressed to walk out of the store without at least a couple in my pocket, because I just don't have that many barbers, so I would be excited to be able to buy them that cheap. You know, they're not the same, but I've been into so many shops, you know, in and around the Atlanta area where you'll go in and they'll have like Cull Morgans, and I mean Cull Morgans. Something you don't even really want to pay money for. And people are selling them for like $35 and $40. And you know, for me, I just sit there and I go, you know, they should at least be in decent shape for $35 or $40. And we're not talking special years or special mint marks or VAMs or any of that. We're just talking like common date Cull Morgans. It's crazy. All right, so we are doing 21 through 25 right now. And I've got about $10 or $12 worth of varieties to look for there under the scope. But so far, no silver. Impizzy, my lady, and I both work as cashier. She got a war nickel the other day. Most good finds I found lately. Wheat cents in 1959 and older nickels. Yeah, that happens all the time. What's funny is I mean, as you know, part of what I do now, and I mean anybody that I'm assuming most of you guys coin roll hunt, you end up going to the same 5 or 10 banks kind of over and over and over again. And I have found that some of the banks that I go to, the tellers have no clue why I'm doing this or what I'm doing it for, other than when I'll explain to them what I'm doing, but they don't care. They're like, oh, that's neat. And then there are other tellers at other branches that are like, you can stop asking me if I have anything old or interesting or Ike dollars or silver. They're like, I go through every coin that I get, or I keep every old bill that comes into my till. So it's just funny the difference from bank to bank and teller to teller. You know, who cares? You know, who knows what the stuff could be worth? I just find it interesting. Yeah, Morgans can be quite pricey. I've been really fortunate. I mean, I've got probably almost 2 tubes of them. A few of them were given to me by, you know, relatives. But most of my Morgans I was able to pick up when spot was very low from people who just wanted to try to get silver spot back out of them, or you know, something a little over that. So I would say the majority of my Morgans I've only paid between $25 and $30 a piece for. So yeah, when I do see Morgans and they're, you know, $50, $60, $70 for like common date stuff, it drives me absolutely batty, because I sit there and I go, I remember 3 years ago I could go into a pawn shop, you know, somewhere and pick those up for 28 bucks. But not anymore. Do you buy the empty rolls that you use to re-roll the coins that you return to the bank? The empty rolls. I don't know what you mean right there, Impizzy, the empty rolls. Explain that better, and I can try to answer it. Oh, if you mean the wrappers, no. I mean, I'm tearing up the wrappers as I go through here, so they're worthless. And then when I rewrap and take them to the bank, they take them. I put everything back in the box, and they typically, if it's a full box, keep the whole box, because what they do is, if Brinks or Loomis will allow them to return them all in the box, which sometimes happens, they don't have any work to do. If they can't do that, the tellers at some point, like once a week or twice a week, they literally have to go through and empty all of my wrapped coins into bank bags. And I don't hang around the bank to try to get those back. Plus, I have found, and I thought about doing a video about this, Staples does $1,000 wraps for, I think, like $7.99. And if you spend $35, you get free shipping. So I typically wait until I'm really, really low, and then I go buy several thousand wraps. Well, you're ugly. That's an ugly coin. And, you know, it cost me 35 bucks. And I did the math on it, and it works out to something like 0.6 of a cent or something like that per wrap, or 0.4 of a cent per wrap, over the volume that I'm getting. And then again, free shipping and all that. So I don't worry too much about it. Zaydogs. Yeah, I said, when I said you're ugly, I meant it directly at you. That's funny. Yeah, the rappers. Yeah, so I've explained that. So Zaydogs was in Georgia. And then this guy came out of nowhere and really helped me out. Okay, I got you. So Transit Dave, if you're talking about, yeah, if you ask at the bank for wraps, they'll give them to you. And I don't disagree with that. And, you know, I was doing that for a long time with the lower denominations. Like, I would go in and turn in, I'm just switching over to my microscope. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. You know, every time I went in the bank, I would just say, hey, can I get, you know, as many nickels, pennies, dimes, quarters, halves as you can give me? And, you know, a lot of banks in the beginning would hand me 50 of each or 100 of each, you know, and I was never having any issue. And then it started, you know, one day all of a sudden it was 10 of each. And then it was 5 of each. And if I asked for more, they would like begrudgingly give me a few more. And then I just kind of went, you know, I'm just going to spend the dollars. I mean, between, you know, the few channel members I have and the revenue that I make here, and it's all technically a write-off because I have to pay taxes on this now that I make enough money that I have to pay taxes. It's just a write-off. I'm not going to sweat it. But, you know, if you're a casual coin roll hunter and you're doing 500 or $1,000 a week and you're not imposing too much on a bank, yeah, they'll happily give you wraps. I think that's Busby. So the silver rounds, the answer that I would give you there is, if they're just rounds, right? They're not some real premium item. I would say no. To me, there's no issue dropping those in something like MS70 or Easy Est. They're both basically like a chemical silver or jewelry cleaner, and as far as I know, they really don't leave much damage on the coin, but they will make them all shiny and sparkly and new. But if it's a, you know, brilliant uncirculated coin and it's valuable because it's a special limited release something or other, yeah, no, you wouldn't catch me dead dumping that at Easy Est for fear that I would ruin the value. Now, your Liberty silver dollars, if they're silver eagles and they're in BU condition and they're toned, definitely do not clean those because there's a whole market for beautifully toned American silver eagles if that's what you have. So please don't dip those. Busby. All right, there we go. I got it. Thank you. Susan B. dollars worth anything above face? So to me, no. There are a few varieties that are out there. And I think if you have some in like MS66 or 67, they might be worth a few bucks. But for me, when I have people that'll contact me because I have ads out on Nextdoor and whatnot. And, you know, they want to sell me all their 1958 wheat pennies. And like, I don't give them anything for those because I find them all the time. I mean, I feel the same way about Susan B's. I mean, I find them all over the place at banks. So, but that's me. Yeah, so Busby, if they're silver eagles, I wouldn't. I would not dip those unless you're doing them for you and you're going to keep them and you're not ever worried about the resale value. You just want them to be shiny. Then it's yours and you do what you want with it. But I always keep resale in mind on everything I have, and so I will tell you, I have dipped silver eagles in the past, but they were ones I got in like coin collections and they were damaged silver eagles. and they were beyond just tarnished. And so to give them more curb appeal, I did clean them. And when I sold them, I let, you know, as part of the sale, it was a, by the way, these do have damage and these have been dipped. And so the person buying them knew what they were getting. But yeah, if they're just brilliant uncirculated and they happen to be toned, man, don't touch them. Leave them be. And if this is really boring for you guys, I'm sorry. Really what I'm looking for is DDOs. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's a double die obverse where there's doubling, typically in the word in, or heavy doubling here in the word trust. And on the 74s, there'll be a little notch down here in part of it. Well, let me do this. Right here, where the edge of my screwdriver is, that kind of is a dead giveaway that it's a double die. So if I see one, I'll call it out, but that's what I'm doing right now. I saved up all of my potential double dies, and I'm just checking them all at once so that it didn't slow down going through the rolls. Let's see here. How many rolls left in the box? I have 25 left in this box and then 50 in the next. So I've got 75 rolls left to go. It is $500 for a box of halves. CoinFlip sent me an email that bicentennial. I'll take a look at that here in a little bit. Actually, let me see if I can do that right now. Yeah, so it's a San Francisco. So that's going to be from a silver, either a silver mint set or a silver proof set. But it's definitely San Francisco. That's what that is. For those of you, let me get back here. For those of you that want to see it, that's what he sent me. So you can see that San Francisco mint mark. It does look silver, though. Have I ever gotten a peace dollar from a roll? I have not. And the hard part is a peace dollar would have to go into an Ike roll, and I don't know if I have ever gotten a roll of Ikes from. I can actually tell you, I have never gotten a roll of Ikes from the bank. I have gotten my biggest score on Ikes. I was at a bank in Chattanooga. And somebody had just turned in $48 worth of Ikes. And I thought for sure one of them would be silver or would be that elusive 1973. And that was not the case. Typically, if I find Ikes, the bank has 1 or 3. I don't run across them very often. 8 NIFCs and a 1968 D40 percenter. Well, you're beating me, Transit Dave. I don't even have an NIFC to speak of. I got a poor man's necklace coin. What's up, Walker Magnet? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. The live stream, whatever this is called. All right, we got like a 2021 probably right here. Let's see. No, we got a 2015. All I had to do was say I don't have any NIFCs, and there it is. 2015 Philadelphia. So we have a find on the box. Look at that. That's just a 72. That's a 95. There we go. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of folks contact me around the Marietta, Georgia area lately that have coins that they're like, oh, I have stuff I want to sell you. And then I spend 3 weeks going back and forth trying to meet up to at least look at what they have. And then the conversation goes quiet. And it's happened to me a bunch lately. And it's starting to frustrate me a little bit. But I'm just waiting for another big coin collection to land in my lap that way, because I've done that 2 or 3 times now, and both times it's really worked out. I was able to get a pretty good deal on the collections and resell enough of it that the stuff I kept didn't cost me all that much. So just kind of waiting for another one of those, and I thought it was going to happen the other day. I just dropped one I wanted to look at closer. And it was a lady who got on there who I guess had some parents that had recently died, and they were cleaning out the safe deposit box and said, I have a bunch of old coins. And, you know, I jumped on pretty quick and said, hey, I'd love to at least come and I can give you at least an appraisal of, you know, whether it's something you should be really concerned with or something that, you know, you've got a couple of silver eagles and that's it. And of course, 157 people responded, all wanting to help this lady out. And I have never heard back from her, but I got excited about it for a minute. Do I ever visit the gold mines in North Georgia? I can't recommend them. So it's Dahlonega is where you're talking about, and it was sort of the heart of the gold mining rush in Georgia way back when. And my daughter went to a sleepaway camp when she was like 9 or 10 years old. And we drove up there, and it's a cool town because everything is related to the gold rush. And there are lots of places that you can go and do tours, and actually you can go and rent panning equipment, and it looks really fun. But it's about an hour and 15, 20 minutes from my house, maybe an hour and 15 from the house. And we were up there to just pick up my daughter and get home because she'd been gone for a week. And so I didn't get a chance to really experience all the stuff that's there, but it does look really cool. So no, I don't have a recommendation, but it is something that I want to do. Thanks, Ian R. So if you watched it, I've actually got it sitting over here if anybody cares. I did just post a video on these. These are the new 2023 best GAWs. And while it didn't look like there was going to be any difference in the 23 and the 22, from what I can tell of the pictures I could find of my 22, it looks like they have antiqued this year's. You can see it's got a brushed finish, and it's a darker silver bar. So from a design, it's unchanged, but it's definitely an antiqued finish over last year's, at least the 3 I got. But really, really pretty bars. Where you live at in Ohio, Busby? I've got an aunt that lives up there. This is roll 31 through 35. If anybody's keeping score here. So I've never been to a crystal mine here either. I think it's funny that I've actually done more in towns outside of Georgia than I have in the city or town that I've lived in for 30 years. And it's just kind of one of those, you know, when you travel somewhere, it's a tourist activity. When you live there, you kind of frown on it going, that's a stupid tourist activity. So like the botanical gardens in downtown Atlanta, I've never been. I've been here for 30 years. And it's one of those places a lot of visitors will make a special trip to go to. Oh, you're in Marietta, Ohio. That's funny. We need some silver. I mean, this is not much fun. My last 8 or 10 boxes, there's been silver by now. Yeah, Walker Magnet. That's kind of exactly what I'm talking about. You know, I mean, like even baseball, the new Battery where the Braves play is 15 minutes from my house. I've been to one Braves game since they moved there 3 years ago or however long ago it was. But we were in Minneapolis last week and for a volleyball tournament, and all the dads were like, we should go to the baseball game tonight. And I was like, yeah, I'll go. And then the whole thing fell through. But the idea of me going to a baseball game here is crazy. But since I was in another city, I was like, sure, let's do it. Sounds like fun. I found a couple of no FGs lately, so I'm spending a little more time looking at those. Walker Magnet, I couldn't tell you how often I find them. I think in the 3 years I've been doing this, I've found something like 10 of them. So often enough. But I couldn't tell you like 1 out of every 40 boxes or anything like that. Oh, that looks plated. I thought that was gonna be a San Francisco clad that was just dull, but somebody looks like they've electroplated that. And it is an NIFC 2006, but that is a Philadelphia mint mark, as far as I can tell. That is a Philadelphia. We'll put it up here as an NIFC, but it's a kind of an ugly one because somebody monkeyed with it. But I feel like I find a lot of magic coins because there's a large magician community here in Atlanta. There's several magic rings, they call them. It's the clubs. So I'm sure those things get lost at restaurants and whatnot, and people find them and just think they're money and use them. Or magicians will have them and forget that they're magic ones and spend the wrong one. So found 1840s from 3 boxes and my first 50 centavo. Well, that's cool, Jesse. 1840s. Now, was that mostly in 1 box, or was it 18 spread across pretty evenly all 3 boxes? No, why am I looking at that now? I'll look at that later. Because I typically, if I pick up 2 or 3 boxes, historically, if I were to say averages, I'll have 1 box that has a bunch of stuff in it, and then the other 2 will be skunks or a few NIFCs. Rarely is it I get 3 boxes and each box has 5 silvers in it, right? There'll be 14 in the first one, 1 in the second one, and none in the third one is usually how it works, if there's that kind of volume. Well, so Walker Magnet, you can hear them because they're a gram light and they're hollow. And the coin machines kick them out because they're a gram light. So that makes all the sense in the world. Again, I don't know why I'm looking at that yet. So I do like finding them. I have talked about this on previous live streams. I still know a lot of magic, and when I was a teenager and in my early 20s, I used to do a lot of close-up magic, corporate magic, that sort of stuff. So I remember back in the day, I was having to spend $25 to $35 on magic coins because they're part of every magician's sort of bag of tricks you take with you. And now it's funny that I find them, and most of them are still in decent shape. You could still use them if you were a working magician. So might have something right here, probably a proof. Well, Maria, good luck with that first box. Nope, just an 85, a 99. Hopefully you get some beginner's luck and that first box comes in and it's just loaded full of silver. I hope that works out for you. Now, I'm going to tell this story, and it's probably partially wrong. There's a guy who frequents my channel, and I know he's got his own, but I don't know how much he posts anymore, called Dad's Spare Change. And I get the impression that he's coin roll hunted, for some time, but didn't have a YouTube channel, and decided to start his YouTube channel, and then ordered some boxes. And it was one of his first couple of videos that he ever did. At least that's my recollection of it. and he had 3 Loomis boxes, or 2 Loomis boxes. I don't remember. Picked up from the same bank and had something like 800 or 900. Look at that little tiny bit of a G right there. Walking Liberty $50 between those 2 boxes. And it was unbelievable. I mean, he opened roll after roll after roll that were full, like 20 coins of Walking Liberty $50. And absolutely amazing. So I can tell you I have never had a single score that big ever. I'm hoping for it though. Fingers crossed. I've had some good scores. Nothing ever that good though. I know Bullion Baby, who I think he killed his YouTube account. He was kind of the same way. When he first got into it, he got a box of dimes. And if you watch my channel, you know I struggle with bankrolls of dimes. And one of his first boxes he ever did, it was I think he said it was like 80 or 90% full of Mercury dimes. Just roll after roll after roll of just full rolls of Mercury dimes in his $250 box. So not as good as, you know, finding a whole box of Walking Liberties, but I wouldn't turn it away. Yeah, I mean, 72 Walker Magnet, 72's up there with kind of where I'm at. I think I had a box that was in the upper 60s to upper 70s. That's been my best box. But that box that, if I recall, if that was my big one, it was loaded full of like proof Benjis, which was really, really nice. But yeah, typically a big box for me is when we start getting over 10 or 15. I don't often see boxes that have, you know, 70, 80, 90, 100. That's very rare for me. Happens every day on YouTube though, it feels like. So Chris, when you picked up your 2 boxes, were they Brinks boxes loaded with customer rewraps? Like brown paper rewraps? Or were they like Brinks wraps that had been opened and resealed? I'm asking for really 2 reasons, but one of them is I've actually had that happen as well, where, you know, I got, this one's empty, but I've picked up one of these boxes, and when you opened it up, right, you get in there, and every roll looked like that. So you could tell, you know, the bank gave a full box from a coin roll hunter back to Brinks. Brinks took it, looked at it, went, it's full, and just retaped it. Didn't recount it, didn't anything. Just taped it up and sent it back out. That's too bad. I hate it when that happens. It doesn't happen to me often, but it has definitely happened to me in the past. It's happened to me, I think 3 times in 3 years, where I've gotten a Brinks or Loomis box full of Brinks or Loomis wrapped rolls, and the entire box was missing a roll. So it had 49 rolls in it. That has happened as well, and the box was not retaped. It was not damaged. It's not like a roll fell out because the driver dropped it coming in and one managed to get out. Like, these were pristine boxes that were just incorrectly filled. And that's why I, you know, again, in my videos, if you ever see, I rarely do, for my halves, live openings on the boxes anymore. I always check them at the bank. You know, if you get shorted a couple of quarters, that's one thing, but getting shorted a whole roll of halves is something else entirely different. So I'm really sorry this has been slow, but this was rolls 45 through, no, I'm sorry, this was rolls 41 through 45, and we are still not on anything all that exciting. What's up, Rick? How are you, sir? We are just hanging out, opening some rolls together, not doing anything fancy tonight. I just didn't feel like filming a video all on my lonesome, so I wanted to hang out with some people while I looked at coins. So welcome to the chat. hoping tomorrow morning to get these back to the bank and find a bank somewhere within my 5-mile radius that has, you know, at least a couple of boxes I can get. I'd love to be able to pick up a box or two of nickels and a box of quarters tomorrow. Because I've been traveling, my ordering's been all over the place because some tellers are like, oh, well, we haven't seen them in a week, so we're not going to order again, even though they know I'm going to come in and get them. So it's just been, I've been off, and I was supposed to be in Florida this week, but that got canceled last minute, so I was able to pick these up this morning, but I don't have anything else that's planned. But hopefully between the hours of 9 and 12, I can find at least some customer wraps or something to go through. Have I ever found a star note? Maria, I find a star note probably 3 times a week. Now, a better question is, have I ever found a really valuable star note? And the answer to that question is no, I have not. I have found star notes that are, if you look on that star note lookup, you know, if your bar is here, I've found some that are leaning towards the middle, but nothing that's way over here. But I get dollar star notes, $50 star notes, and $100 star notes all the time. Oh, we got another NIFC. Makes 3 on the box. I haven't updated my ticker, I know, but we got a 2004. So a little something. Hey, Jimmy Licari, haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? So, Maria, you found a $20 with 320,000 run. That is kind of rare. I don't know where that would fall out on that little meter I was just talking about, but that is a pretty small run. Yeah, so Walker Magnet, that's my problem is, like I said, I get a lot of $100 star notes, but I mean, I'm not going to put that away unless it's super rare, or I'm going to turn around and resell it if it's super rare. I am certainly not starting a cache of $100 star notes somewhere in my house. I like being married. I don't know if my wife has seen the bill for those Beskar bars though, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Too many errors to look at. Busby, let me check my email real quick. All right, so that's a pretty bad picture, but it looks like what you've said. I've seen toning like that from being in the wrong type of PVC. And like you said, I've seen where it's, you know, air is leaking in, so it's got sort of a discoloration around the edge. So I'm going to struggle to tell you exactly what to do with that. I have seen that in the past, though. I think it's personally really ugly. There may be people out there, though, that really like that. How's the weather in Georgia? The weather in Georgia is hot. We actually had a pretty decent spring where it was confusing weather, but at least it wasn't hot. But we're now moving into that part of the summer where you can take a shower and get clean and smell nice and dry clothes and go outside for 5 minutes and need to come back in and need a shower. So, and we have had a bit of rain the last couple of days, which has been nice, that it's kept it a little cool, but it's hot most of the time. All right, we got 2 rolls left, folks. This rolls 49 and 50 coming out of the box, and it's not been real exciting. So 3 NIFCs and a necklace coin so far. We got a couple of shiny edges in this guy. There might be a few more NIFCs. Yeah, California, you know, I've been out there a handful of times, and it just seems like, depending on where you are in California, it can be nice year round. But I've also been in parts of California where in the summer it is just damn hot. You know, I mean, you can't get away from it. So, but California's huge. It's got big mountains. It's got big valleys. You can find just about any climate you want there. 75 to 78 is wonderful. Yeah, Busby, if you have really nice ones, I would consider getting the, you know, any of the capsules that have gaskets. Like, I mean, the airtights are the expensive ones, but the nice thing is there's a rubber gasket or a foam gasket that goes around the coin, and then that kind of seals it within the capsule, and it sort of protects it even further from air getting in. My only issue with the airtight brand is kind of once you get that capsule on there, if you ever did want to open it, it's pretty tough to get that capsule open again. But they typically will keep your coins pretty clean for forever. That just is. I'm not even gonna. I don't care about that one. It's too ugly. $100 star note from 1934. So, okay, Walker Bagnon. If I was at a bank and I came across a 1934 star note, I could be talked into hanging on to that. Any giveaways? No, Ben, I hadn't planned on any giveaways tonight. Tonight was just a come hang out and watch me do $50. I tell you, though, if I find some silver, I could be talked into giving some of it away tonight. So, like I said, nothing planned, but that doesn't mean something won't happen. So far, we haven't found any silver, though. Yeah, tonight was a very impromptu. I was going to sit down and start going through these rolls and went, you know what? I think I'm going to live stream tonight instead. So, yep, Ed and I have been trading some notes. I was just up in Minneapolis and last week, and they had us scared out of our minds that it was like this crime-ridden city and people had run it over and it was going to be awful and we need to protect our kids and watch your wallet, and it was a really nice city. I would say it was cleaner and nicer than downtown Atlanta. So I really enjoyed my stay out there. Yeah, Busby, check out, make sure you do subscribe, and everybody in the chat, if you have channels, man, feel free. I think you might be able to do like an exclamation point me. I think that might work. Feel free to shout out your own channels. I got no issue with that. You guys should check out each other's channels. Make sure you support everybody in the community. I will tell you, Hunting Southwest Ohio works his little tail off and live streams a couple times a week. I try to attend at least some of them nearly every time he streams. And he's pretty well put together. He's got giveaways. He does good live streams. He does silver games. He does auctions. All that good stuff. Stuff that I want to do and just don't take the time to do it. That is very possibly true, Ed. So we are at the end of box number 1. I do have about $20 worth of varieties to go through here real quick. There they all are. So bear with me while I do that. I'll try to go as fast as I can. I got to switch to this. It'll make it easier for everybody to see. No notch. 1973. It's pretty much all in the 3 in the word trust. So Rick, are you live streaming tomorrow night? Usually you do your Saturday night stream, right? I think you do Saturdays. I get confused because there's a handful of people I always try to catch. Yep, tomorrow night. Well, good. I look forward to. I'll drop in for a little bit for sure. And if anybody cares, Rick has done, Hunting Southwest Ohio has done 48,000 giveaways. And I've been a participant in every one of them, and I still have not won. So hold out hope. One day I will win something from Hunting Southwest Ohio. I think there was one time where it was like this really nice giveaway and there was about 6 of us in it. And I thought, I got to win this one, right? Nope, I didn't win. I would love to win an item from the chest. How much does that thing weigh now? Last time I heard you talk about it, it was like 6 pounds. It's got to be bigger than that now. That's the wrong side. I want this side. I'll tell you whose channel I don't go to as much as I used to, but I used to win all the time, was on Mad Stacker, when he would do those big, giant Wheel of Death giveaways, and, like every 7 spots there was a winner. There was one of those wheels. I think I won 4 times on it on the way down. That's how many entries I had and how many things I won. It's been a good long while since I've won a giveaway from anybody. £8. Crazy. Coin flip. Oh, let's see here, Buzz. Once I get a microscope, I plan on creating a channel too. I'd like to get rid of my ball cards for metal. Too much Georgia Silver Hunter street tips. That's funny. So, coin flip, when you say set up an eBay account and a separate bank account, what do you mean? So, Diggin' Dave, it's funny you say that. I was trying to find Robinhood coins the other day. His channel's still up. His website is down. And he used to post videos a couple of times a week. He live streamed like once or twice a month. He had the wife and kids in on it. I mean, it was always a good time, And then you're right. Like one day he just stopped streaming and stopped posting. And then, at some point in the last year, he just disappeared. So I hope he's well and his family's well. And I hope he didn't, have to cancel for anything nefarious or difficult with the family. But it is strange when you see people who, are doing well on YouTube and they're 2 or 3 or 5 or 8,000 subs, and next thing you know, they're just like gone. It's weird. Oh, selling. Yeah. My only issue with eBay, honestly, are the fees. eBay count on 15%. And if you can't build, more than 15% profit into what you're trying to sell, you may as well forget it, because they're just taking too much of your money. But, if you got a baseball card you spent $3 on and you're going to get $300 for it, knock yourself out. Go on eBay. I mean, the 15% is not going to kill you. So our first box, we had 3 NIFCs and a necklace coin. I'm going to go ahead and update my totals here. 3 there. Call our necklace a 1. So that's been updated. All right, I'll if I'm up. Well, no, I'll be up. Problem is at 10 a.m. I'll be banking. My wife goes shopping. I go banking. And it's actually kind of funny. We talk about it that way. She, I get up Saturday morning and eat a quick breakfast, and she's like, "All right, hon, you going banking today?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going banking." So, yeah, I mean, if you're selling stuff you were going to throw away and it's stuff that is worthless to you, and, even making $1 or 2 out of it's worth something, then yeah, that's great. Setting up an eBay account's not a bad way to go. I'm going to grab something real quick and show you guys why I was looking up Robinhood coins. So, So he had really gotten into doing poured silver, and I bought, well, I guess I got to change back to my live stream here so you guys can see this. I bought these pieces from him because I'm a superhero nut. These were things that I think they were from toys, I'll be honest, just based on some of the inscriptions. But he was sand casting parts from toys and making 999 fine silver items out of it. So here's Wonder Woman's shield from the Zack Snyder universe, right? So the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. And I mean, this thing is, I want to say it's like 1.7 ounces of silver. And, you know, I mean, I paid 10% over spot or something stupid like that for it. And it was handmade by Robin Hood Coins. Maybe it was a little more than that over spot, but it wasn't that expensive. And I wanted to go out there and see what his pricing was with silver where it is at now, and if he was keeping up with premium. So I had that. This is the heaviest piece, and it's actually started to tarnish a little bit. But this was the heaviest piece. This little Superman shield. And it sandcasted beautifully. So this was, how much was this one? 1.85 troy ounces. So almost 2 ounces in a Superman shield. So, I mean, this thing's just really, really cool. And then the last one, he had Mjolnir from Thor, but it was like 5 ounces fully made, but he had the one from Endgame. This one's called Stormbreaker. And this one was a little over an ounce, I want to say, or we'll put it on the scale in a second. But again, it just came out beautifully. You can see the wood grain in the handle. I mean, it's very kind of movie accurate. But again, just a nice piece that he had sand casted. That's 1 point almost 3. Yeah, I do have that on troy ounces, and this one was a little over 1.3. So this is why I was looking him up. I wanted to see if he was still doing this stuff, because I was kind of thinking about buying some of it. So there you have it. So funny you brought up Robin Hood Coins. So let's see here. Catching back up on the chat. Let's see here. You can take a shot. Yeah, they're a nightmare. What program do you use that displays the graphics on the right whenever you are not on the microscope? So everything that you're seeing on screen right now, I'm doing with a software called OBS. It's called Open Broadcast Software, I think is what it stands for. It's free, and there's a little learning curve for setting it up, but once you have it set up, it's really easy to use. Walker Magnet says, Wonder Woman, that's awesome. I would like to smelt or put metals in solution. So, Busby, a quick story. One of the things that, and let me actually get in some coins while I'm talking here. Here's box number 2, or box number 1, really, because we just started on box number 2. You know, the really stupid expensive microscope I have now, I was given for free to do a product review on. And if you haven't seen that video, it was, I thought, a decently made video, but I don't think anybody bought one because they're really expensive, and I don't blame you. But about 3 weeks before I got that offer, I had an offer from another one of those Chinese companies for a free smelter. And I turned it down, and all I would have had to do was get it and review it. But in my head, I was like, then I got to store this giant machine. And oh, by the way, then I have to go find some silver that I don't mind melting. And then I got to figure out where I'm going to do this because I don't want to do it at my garage. And I just started thinking through all the logistics, and I talked myself out of it. But I could have gotten like a free, I think it was like $300, $350 electric smelter. So I too have the desire to do it. It just, the logistics were so much that I talked myself out of it. And I would have gotten it for free. So let's see here. Always wonder about copyright issues. I mean, for all we know, that's why he went offline, because Marvel got wind of what he was doing or whatever. I mean, that's a possibility. I would have been worried about copyright as well, because he didn't change. It didn't look like he had changed him at all. A Proof Philly 1960 nickel. Proof nickels are tough to come by. I think I have found 2 in recent history. Recent past. I think proof pennies are tough to come by too. So, Hunting Southwest Ohio, you use Streamlabs OBS, and that's a variant of OBS. And I think, is yours completely online, Hunting Southwest Ohio? Or is yours a local install? Because the one I use is installed locally. All right, that's rolls 1 through 5 that we just got through there. No silver. That's a beautiful 1972. Too bad it's got an FG. That'd have been worth something. Okay. Yeah, I have seen the Streamlabs, I guess variety of it or variant of it. I use the traditional OBS. I've used StreamYards too, and I think Hunting Southwest Ohio, I think it was you, we were kind of chatting about it. If you ever want to have people join your stream, you can do it with Streamlabs, but with StreamYard, it's really, really easy because all you do is send them a link, and the person clicks on the link and says join the stream, and literally that's all you have to do. I mean, it's the easiest way to connect two streamers in the world. I did it with Bullion Baby one night, and he was legit Sir Noobs back then, but Jersey Silver Stacker. They were doing like a game night, and Bullion Baby got invited on, and I was chatting with them, and I said, hey, will you guys invite me so I can stop typing? And they pulled me in, and we spent about 2 hours just doing like a 3-way impromptu live stream. This was probably a year ago. This is back when Bullion Baby had a channel. Speaking of somebody else that just disappeared. All right, Ed Finds Treasure. Head to bed, man. Thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. So Walker Magnet, I have used OBS to make my videos as well. I prefer the freedom my phone gives me for just being able to move it around and grab clips, and not have to have a staged setup of the video, if you get my meaning, because OBS likes to do frames and all this other stuff. But it's not a bad way to go, and it's a nice way to save directly to your computer rather than having all your video clips on your phone. Because I know I've run out of disk space on my phone before, because I've, just piled up so much video and not cleaned it off. Next thing you know, my iCloud's full, my phone's full. I stopped getting emails and all kinds of madness. So, oh, that wants to be a proof. That is a proof. Oh, we got a proof. Look at that. It's an ugly one, but it's a proof. I almost missed it. And the mirror's gone, mostly. It was the reflection of the light that caught me. And it's a little better on the back, but this is a really well-worn proof. This thing's been around the block. But you can see on the scope there, it is San Francisco. Let's check, does it have the DDO or... I don't think so. No. Well, we got a proof. That's pretty cool. We'll put that aside. Yeah, that's Martin. We've been hoping for silver, but I'll take proofs right now. We haven't found anything else. So, Diggin' Dave, before I knew about that VDB error, this is very early this year. I got a whole box of 2023 pennies, and I sold them on eBay, and I think I sold half the box, and I think I got like $50 or $75 or $80 or something like that for 25 rolls of pennies. So, I mean, I was happy to get rid of them. But I wish I had known about the VDB thing before I'd done it, because maybe I would have kept them and hunted them all. But so Hunting Southwest Ohio, you heard a rumor that on the Hunting Southwest Ohio channel there would be a 1700s 8 real in his auction tomorrow. Now, for people that don't know Hunting Southwest Ohio and don't know how much a 1700s 8 real might be worth, where would they go to figure that out? You know what's funny is, here's a fresh roll of 2023 pennies right here. I know for a fact that is a full roll. That's why I pulled it. I had it set aside because I was going to hunt it one day. And I just haven't had the heart to open it. He has inside information. That's funny. Yeah, so hunting Southwest Ohio, I will hunt like the first box of them that I get, or if I get a box that has, 30 of the 50 rolls are brand new coins, like I'll go ahead and bite the bullet and do it just to get to know the coins and look for something, especially if they're brand new, because if you're the first one to find something, you can usually make a pretty good profit on it on eBay. And sometimes even if what you think is something turns out to be nothing at all. But I agree with you. I mean, like hunting a whole box of the exact same coin will drive you absolutely crazy. So I think it's there's an extra V on the VDB underneath Abraham Lincoln's head, like down on the bottom of the bust, like, the head's up here, and then the bottom of the bust is down there, and the VDB's down there. It's an extra V on the VDB is the main thing you're looking for. You can look on eBay to see examples of it. You don't know anything about Whatnot. Have any of you guys messed with Whatnot? I had someone. So, Diggin' Dave, oh God, what's his name? Silver Picker has become a big Whatnot guy. They sponsor a lot of his videos, and he has moved all of his coin auctions to Whatnot. And he's got an affiliate link that he uses, and if you sign up for Whatnot using his link, you get like $15 in Whatnot money. And, his big sales point is, I'm going to do an auction, and you can come in, and you'll get $15 for free. And he's like, I will have a ton of $15 buy it nows in my auction. Now, at the end of the day, he might have a single, 90% Washington quarter on a buy it now for $15, and you'll spend the money on that because it was free money to begin with. But check out Silver Picker, or if you want to shoot somebody an email and ask about it, shoot him a note, or grab him on Instagram. I won't say we're buddies on any stretch of the imagination. We've traded a couple of emails because I've had questions for him, and he has responded to me. Like I said, I wouldn't say we're buddies or anything. I don't have an inside track, but he was very polite and nice when I did reach out to him. So don't be afraid to send him a note. Why am I looking at that? I don't want to look at that yet. Part of me just wants to stop looking for varieties on this and rip through the rest of these looking for silver, which I do from time to time. And I can tell you, I've never used it. I've never joined one of Silver Picker's auctions, but that's what it is. It is an online auction. I can't get organized to do an auction on my channel. I don't know why I would get involved in a whole auction software. All right, rolls 11 through 15. All right, we got one shiny edge in there, maybe an NIFC. We do need some silver, though. I have no idea how many people are watching. How many of you guys are on here? I appreciate all of you for hanging out. What does it say? 32. Well, there's a lot of people lurking. Well, thank you guys for being here and just hanging out with me. This has been a lot of fun. Busby, yeah, dimes are really tough. My first 2 or 3 boxes I actually legitimately hunted them all. I did find a couple of transitional errors almost every time I'd hunt a whole box. And then you find out, you know, the condition that you're finding those transitional errors in, they're not worth but probably $1 or $2. And very quickly you just start hunting them for silver. And at least in Georgia area and the Loomis boxes I continue to get, there's no silver in bankrolls of dimes. I don't mind I mean, so Dig and Dave, we're just the opposite. I grow sick of pennies, man. Pennies are so small and there's so many of them. Like, I get bored. A box of pennies will take me 3 days to hunt. Whereas I will sit down and rip through just by myself in my basement, filming clips left and right. I will sit down here for 5 hours and get through 2 or 3 or 4 boxes of halves and not stop, but to go to the bathroom. Now, it doesn't hurt that I usually have a television show or a movie or something going on in the background. But pennies, man, I do that for about an hour and I'm like, I got to go find something else to do. Because while it's fun, it's not that I don't necessarily completely enjoy it. It's just that it's so hard to look at pennies. And there are so many varieties that you have to check for. It kind of hurts my brain. I'm sorry if I'm a little off camera there. Trying to get it under the light just so. Dig and Dave, now there is a lot of truth to that because you can find a lot of no FGs and a lot of DDOs, and you know, if they're in that 25 to 30 range and $half, you know, they're not worth a ton of money, but you find a couple of transitionals or a couple of DDOs and pennies and they're, you know, $100, $150, $200. So we do have an NIFC. It's beat up. It's ugly. 2010 Denver. So we got one NIFC, one proof on the box. Nothing's too special, but at least we found something. So Walker Magnet, was that 4 boxes of pennies? And you found proof pennies in boxes? That's something I might have found one ever. Proof penny. So something else I'm looking forward to, quasi looking forward to, is I have found another Fifth Third Bank at a Kroger that's literally a stone's throw from my house. And I've been testing the waters with them ordering me coins. And so at first I said, can you get me a box of pennies? And they did. And then I waited 2 or 3 weeks and I went back and I was like, well, that was cool. Next time, can you get me a box of dimes? And they did. And then the next time, you know, I waited a week or 2 and I went back in and I said, ooh, could you get me a box of halves? And they said, sure. And I showed up the next week and they said, yeah, they wouldn't let us order the box of halves. So I said, okay. Well, how about a box of quarters? And the next week they did. So now I went in the other day and I said, okay, well, next week can I get a box of nickels and a box of quarters? And try to order me a box of halves if they'll let you. And they said, sure. So next Wednesday, I'm going into a Kroger to see if they bought me, whatever, $1,100 worth of coins. That should be interesting. And people do look at you funny in a grocery store walking out with that kind of boxed money. There is no silver in this box, ladies and gentlemen. We are on roll 18. This is roll 19. So Dave, there's some truth to that. And I've done $half videos where I've had to keep adding boxes because, you know, basically you film an intro and then you film an empty box. And then you film an intro and you film an empty box. So I've been there as well with $50, but lately I have found enough that I can make a video out of 1 to 2 boxes almost every time. So, but I hear you. Even on pennies, if you were just to say, I'm going to make a video out of all the copper that I find, you could have a ton of footage. Or I'm going to make a video and only show clips of my Wheaties and, you know, here's what I found in copper weight by the end. I mean, you can easily make an 8 or a 9 or a 10-minute video out of that every time. But Dave, I believe you're one of the guys. You're like full-time YouTube, right? You at least I thought I heard that somewhere. Maybe you told me. Is that still true? I agree with hunting Southwest Ohio, though. I mean, 2 years ago, I would throw away videos if I didn't think they were, like, they didn't have good finds. But at least I think I have found a way to at least make a $50 hunt that has few finds or not great finds, at least interesting to watch. And again, it's to hunting Southwest Ohio's point that you want to keep it real. Like, there's a lot of people that watch these videos that think, oh, every box this guy gets has 10 silvers in it. Well, if you're watching guys that's the case, it's because they're only posting the good ones, right? So on mine, I like to show when I have the good boxes and when I have the bad boxes and when I have the mediocre boxes, and you tend to see what I get. I don't heavily edit my stuff. I mean, I edit everything, but you get my point. I don't try to make stuff look better by selectively showing boxes. If I hunt 4 boxes and only 1 produces, you're going to see all 4 boxes. My bank doesn't have anything over a quarter. So Busby, a lot of banks don't have $50. You've got to ask them to order them. I go into 10 banks a week and none of them have loose halves. Or do they have just boxes laying around in the vault unless they've been returned by me or another coin roll hunter? So Dave, yeah, I have my coin channel and a reaction channel, not coin related. So I have 2 YouTube channels making revenue. Well, good for you, man. I don't think I've ever seen your reaction channel. Is that one doing pretty well? I know your coin channel has a fair number of subscribers and you get a lot of views. So is your reaction channel doing really well? All right, rolls 21 through 25. We'll be halfway through the box, and I'll stop for a second and check these potential varieties. A couple of shinies in there, maybe an NIFC. Well, hey, I mean, 60K subs, and if it's just for fun, I mean, for those of you that don't know how the magic works, is that no matter how many subs you have, it's a fairly predictable percentage that you can guarantee you're going to watch every video. So 60K subs is nothing to laugh at or sneeze at. Now, that's probably not silver, but it's ugly. 1981. The old dark coin in there. We'll look at that a little closer when I get to it. Well, I feel like my channel is pretty big, and I'm at like 5,600 subs. I could not imagine having 60K subs. So congrats on getting there. Well, that's too bad that Truist won't do that for you. But I get asked that question all the time. I get emails and it's like, well, my bank won't do this. And what should I do? It's a really easy answer. Go to a new bank. I know people don't like having extra accounts. I know that you take a, it does hit your credit check when they run it to open the account, but the reality is that may be what you have to do. Go to another bank. The easier thing is try a different branch. So again, I don't know where you live, but there are 32 Truist branches within 15 minutes of my house. I'll just go to a different one until I find one that says yes. And if that doesn't work, then I'll go get a new bank. Well, Walker Magnet, I look at them all, but I definitely edge hunt first. This is the first time I've ever on a live stream done it this way. This is typically how I film now. Because it allows me to quickly film opening all 5 rolls, because I found there is a good faction of people that really just like watching you rip that paper, right? I don't know if it's the ASMR, like there's just something really satisfying of seeing that roll get opened. And then I, get feedback from people that just want to see the find. So, the way I edit now, I have just found that filming opening 5 rolls in a time, and then if I find something edge, it's really quick to get to. And then if I find a variety, we kind of film that the old-fashioned way, right? So that's just what I'm working. That's the way I'm doing it now, based on the feedback I've gotten and what I think I'm hearing people say they like. I don't know if I would do it this way again on a live stream, but it's just what I've gotten used to. I have thrown away so many 1971 Ds. Probably the only ones that are DDOs. I'm putting all the non-DDOs to look at under the scope. Yeah. So the question I would have for you hunting Southwest Ohio is the 4 banks you have that do that, how many of them have, minimum balances that are painful? Because I've looked at getting business accounts. So the banks I have, I just have consumer accounts, and luckily I have a couple that are still ordering me coin. But if like Wells Fargo tomorrow said you have to get a business account, they have a minimum, I think like $1,500 or $2,500 to not pay fees. And, my problem is if I had 4 business accounts across 4 banks and they all had like $2,500 minimums, like you're tying up 10 grand just sitting in bank accounts, so you're not paying like 10 or 15 bucks a month in fees. That'd drive me absolutely batty. So, yeah, Busby, work your relationships. That's also something that can't be said enough. I mean, if you know a bank manager, work that angle. And I don't mean that like in a negative way, but talk to them, see what they can do, let them know what you're trying to do. If you got a buddy that'll help you out, do it. I don't know about that. Let's see here. I know what you. So Walker Magnet, like I said, it's some people. I didn't say everybody, but yeah. I don't know if my crinkling the wrappers is driving you nuts. I'm sorry, but what is your standard for the no FG before you consider it a true no FG? So for me, the no FG has to be completely gone. Typically, now the 72 I had the other day, and I'm going to show you guys this. Oh, that's the wrong side. So this is a 72, and I would say it's a no FG. But, I mean, I'll keep it still for a second. You guys can see that. I see no F, no G. I don't see anything. I see where it's supposed to be. But if I get it like just so, you can, like right here, I feel like you can make out a little bit of a G kind of under the surface, but it's not visibly raised, right? And I had it in some light the other day where I just felt like the G stood out a little bit. And, I had Rob Fine's Treasure look at it. He said then he wouldn't personally consider it a no FG, but this one's gone enough that I would. Like, I don't see raised metal. I see something that looks like it might be under the surface, but, you know, that's just me. So I tend to be one of those people that if you can make out the G or make out the F in any way, shape, or form that's raised, it doesn't count. I also don't, so far, I've never sent anything to be graded, so I haven't been tested to see if my knowledge is right. I just know based on what I've read and what I've seen from others and what I see on PCGS. And I mean, Hunting Southwest Ohio knows this, that I'm not afraid to go get a second and a third and a fourth opinion. I ask his opinion all the time. I am not too proud to say I don't know everything. So so coin flip, when you say the 72 standard is way different than like an 82 or 83, I mean, they're definitely different dies, because I think even the words like "we trust" and the font on the year look very, very different between a 72 and an 82. They obviously changed the dies between those years. Because, I mean, I can get it under the scope and immediately see it and go, that's not a 70s era $50. That's something else. So what is my advice going into a bank where I've never ordered before? Now, Dig and Dave, is it a bank that I have an account at? I mean, I would assume I have to have an account. So if it's hey, it's a bank I have an account, and it's maybe the first time I've ever walked into the branch, what I would do is actually start with customer wrap stuff. This is me. This would be my approach. Is I would go in and say, hey, I'm a coin collector, and I'm looking for a lot of change, and I'd like to pick up, you know, as many rolls as you'll let me have of, you know, quarters and nickels, or, you know, you pick. I tend to try to get one or two denominations, because you may say, I want a bunch of quarters, and they're going to say, well, we don't have any quarters. Okay, well, you can do that, but then the conversation has to go to, well, then do you have any nickels? Then do you have any? So I usually go in and say, I'm really looking for quarters and nickels, or quarters and dimes, or whatever. Can I get, you know, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 rolls, whatever you can sell me? And I kind of say it that way. You know, I'll take 10, but if you can sell me 50, I'll take all 50. And I would start with customer wrapped and see how, you know, if they took them, if they were open to it. I might do that maybe a couple of times, and then come in and say, hey, I've heard that you guys can actually order bank boxes. Is that something you could do for me? Because I'd like to get some some bank wrapped coins. And that's how I would approach it. I would start slow and get my feet wet and see how they react. Because I've had branches where I've gone in and they wouldn't give me any more than 2 rolls of each denomination. So you know you're not going to get them to order anything for you if they'll only give you 2 rolls. But that's me. So, yep, Hunting Southwest, so that's what I said, just much shorter, more to the point. You told him you were a poker player. So car washes and laundromats are a great way to get quarters. If you can get to know the owners, a lot of times those owners would rather just sell those quarters to you than have to, you know, either roll them up and take them to the bank if they know you'll come get them. That's not a bad way to go. So coin flip, you are right. Even on PCGS, the 72, I've seen some examples where there was just like a tiny bit of the F or the G kind of up on the, so I'll use this one as an example, where I've seen a little bit of the F or the G kind of creeping up, kind of like up onto the wing there, or the leg. I have seen that in some of the PCGS pictures, but the 82 and 83, everything I've read says it has to be completely flat. It has to be completely gone. And that's why I'm just picky on on all 3 of them now, really. That it has to be gone. Yeah, I don't usually tell them I'm a coin roll hunter. I think some banks have started to get allergic to that term. I usually tell them I am a coin collector, and that I am looking for old and interesting coins, which is also true of a coin roll hunter. So I wouldn't say I'm lying to anybody, but you know, I do think you have to give them a plausible, semi-realistic story, because you know, eventually one day they are going to find out what you're doing. I can tell you that my Fifth Third that I get most of my coins from, they know what I'm doing. I mean, I've explained it to them. Most of the tellers actually, I don't know if they still watch my channel, but have come to my channel. Some of them have subscribed. So they know exactly what I'm doing, and they're happy to help me. There are other banks, though, that just think I am a coin collector. Yeah, so Dig and Dave, to your question, I've never walked into a bank and not had an account and asked them to order me coins. Now, I go into banks, I don't have an account all the time, and ask for customer wrap stuff. And there's a bunch of banks around me that, even though I don't have an account, will give me, some of them cap me, some of them don't. Like the Chase Bank near me will give me up to $100 in coins without any hassle, and I don't have an account there. Truists will typically give me customer wrap stuff, the ones near me. I'm trying to think. Regions banks near me. It's very hit or miss. Some of the branches, because I don't have an account, won't even give me a nickel out of the drawer. And some of them have happily sold me customer wrapped and bank wrapped stuff that they had in their little, whatever you call them, the little teller safes. So it just really depends. And I've said this in my sort of new to coin roll hunting video. It just comes down to where are you in the country? What are your options? How many banks are available? Et cetera, et cetera. Because what works for me and my experience here in sort of outside of a major city may be very different for you if you live in an area where there's, 3 banks and each bank only has 1 branch, right? Your options are far more limited. So mileage may vary. So Jesse, yeah, the Fifth Third that knows what I'm doing, they always ask what I found. And when I have big boxes of stuff that I find a lot of stuff, I usually bring the best stuff from the box in and I show it to them, and they're usually really excited to see it. This was a while back, but I had a box where I found a 1908 Barber half. Some of the tellers had never even seen one of those before, so they were super excited for me to bring that in. Didn't even really, when I showed it, they didn't even really know what it was. So, cookies and candies are nice. That is true. So coin flip, that's awesome that you had a bank that did that. I'm trying to think what I was going to say. Watch that. I do. One of my members actually keeps me posted weekly on his coin roll hunts, and he had a bank that I don't know the whole history of it, but had a bank where they were happy to order him like 8 boxes of halves a week. And I think he was returning them to a different bank, as you should. And they did it for almost like a year, ordering him 8 boxes of halves. And then a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month or two ago, they just said, we can't order you $50 anymore. And just like completely cut him off. Or maybe it was cut him down to like 2 or 4, just really cut his legs out from under him is basically what happened. Because he had this very steady stream of boxes that just dried up because out of nowhere the bank decided they were done getting boxes for him. So I would say keep an eye out for that, but if you have a bank that's happily ordering, good for you, man. Order away. So Maria, still no silver. Still looking. We got 20 rolls left. We have 1 proof and 1 NIFC in this box. Last box we had 3 NIFCs and a necklace coin, a miscellaneous. But we are silver skunked this evening so far. Hey, Shaker, and how are you, buddy? I got your coin roll crimps in the mail today. You should have gotten an email with the tracking number. If you didn't, let me know, and I will send you the tracking number in a separate email. But you should have been notified today, and I know that the post office picked it up. So Hopefully the tracking will update tonight or tomorrow. All right, so getting into roll 35. Roll 35. Still no silver. Got one shiny one, maybe two shiny ones. Might be something in there. At least the first shiny one's a bicentennial. Yeah, so coin flip, one box per bank. If you got a couple of different branches you can hit, that's still not a bad thing. Get a box of halves from one and a box of quarters from the other, and you could make a YouTube channel out of that kind of volume. I mean, it'd get a little predictable, but you'd have a steady stream of stuff. Awesome. Thanks for letting me know. I used to find 1974 DDOs like every 4 or 5 boxes. I haven't found a 1974 DDO in like a year. People would ask me all the time in my streams, what is the most common error I find? And the answer was always the 1974 DDO. I don't ever see them anymore. I look at a lot of 1974s. I just don't get the error. I appreciate that feedback, S. Martin. Thanks. Yeah, so Transit Dave, I would love to be able to get bags. And to do that, I think I have to hit some credit unions. And, I have an account with Navy Federal Credit Union, but they don't have a coin machine. So I can't get bags from them. Like most of the Georgia credit unions do have coin machines and would probably sell me bags, but I don't have accounts at any of the credit unions. And they are another one of those banks that I've walked into where, I said, hey, do you have any, big old dollars? And the teller said, oh, I have one of these old Ike dollars. And I said, here, I have a dollar bill. Can I just trade you? And they said, well, what's your account number? And I said, no, I don't want to give you my account number. I want to give you this dollar. And they were like, no, we can't do that without an account number. And I'm going, it's a dollar. You give me a dollar, I give you a dollar. Everybody's drawer works out at the end of the night. And the lady was like, I cannot help you without an account number. So I left. I'm like, I'm not opening an account over an Ike dollar. So Trans Dave got my first hat of halves and got 66 40 percenters and 5 90 percenters. I'm guessing you meant bag of halves. And if you got 66 40 percenters in a bag, I have to get on getting bags quickly. Dig and Dave, I know you go through like a stupid amount of change every week. So what is that? 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. That's like $4,200 a week in coins. That's awesome. Hey, Tom. Thanks for joining us. We're just hanging out and chatting, going through some half dollars. Just chatting, asking questions, hanging out. I got, what do I have left? 15 rolls left. We did 2 boxes as our second box of the night. We have not found any silver. A couple of NIFCs, 1 proof. Yeah, unfortunately, there was nobody in line behind me, and I did that at a Regions Bank and got asked to leave. This was a long time ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago now. And I asked if they had half dollars, and the teller said they did, and I said I wanted to buy them, and I got the whole, do you have an account? And I said no, And it was the same thing. And there was an old lady standing behind me. And I said, hey, you know, if I give you some cash, will you get the $50? And they said, you're harassing our customers. Please leave. And I'm like, I'm not harassing anybody. I just want to buy like the $2.50 worth of $50 you have in your drawer. But I didn't make a scene. I just said sorry and left. But that did actually happen. I want some silver, folks. I really do. I want you guys to see me open silver. I would like to find a silver so I could give it away. That's what I would like to do. Digging Dave, I have a bit of a problem. My wife says that to me, and it doesn't have nothing to do with coin roll hunting. Now, S. Martin, are you exclusively halves, or are you going through other types of denominations? What's up, Greg? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing this evening? And for those of you that are new, I'm just, you can't really see them. I'm just stacking up potential error coins that I'm going to look at the end. I am live opening. I am opening 5 rolls at a time, and we're just kind of edge hunting for silver, and then I'm going back through looking for coins that we can put under the scope after each 25 roll stop and checking those for varieties. So you're doing 8. So, you know, years ago when getting halves wasn't as big of a problem as it is now, I was getting 8 boxes a week as well. And that was back when I had other branches that had coin machines that I had access to, so I didn't have to rewrap because, you know, rewrapping the box adds another, call it 20 to 30 minutes onto the hunt. Maybe a little less than that if you go fast. But, you know, before I could just drop them, and I'm dropping them in a, you know, box right now because I don't want you guys to sit here and waste time watching me rewrap $50. But those were the days back then when I could rip through a box of halves and dump them in a bin and then just carry the bin into the bank and drop it in the machine. And yeah, I was doing 8 boxes a week easy back then. But since then, all the bank machines or the coin machines have disappeared, and I am starting to get cut back to 2 halves per week from the banks that get me boxes. So I'm trying to find another bank that I can reliably get halves from. There's Enchilada. She finally showed up. We see her all the time. Stickered coin. We will call it a miscellaneous, but it's not nothing special. A lot of people get the Enchilada coin. The reason I can do pennies so fast is over the years I can just remember everything, look for it. Yep, thanks to George Hunter's spreadsheet. Yeah. So I've gotten better at memorizing all the things that I'm looking for, even though there's a lot, because it's like, you know, the 83. Now, does the 83 have the double ears at the 83D? Is it the 83 that has the DDR and the D? Like that, that's the kind of detail I don't remember, but it's like, I know the 83 has a bunch of stuff wrong with it, right? That's what I can do. We got a little faker. That guy really wanted to be silver, but it's not. So that's where I struggle. And my eyes have slowly gotten worse and worse, and I need to get new glasses. And that has also dissuaded me from doing dimes and pennies, just because they're so hard for me to see. And I have to stop and put so many of them under the scope that it just takes me a long time to do them. So they're less fun. The Atlanta area is good. Thank you for asking. We were talking about the weather earlier. It's starting to get super hot, hence the Hotlanta moniker. But Atlanta's doing well. Family's doing well. Everybody's doing good. My son did say he was going to come down and grace everyone with his presence, but he's probably been playing like some video game since I sat down and has forgotten all about his promise to come say hello. So, yeah, Savannah's always hot. I've only been to Savannah a handful of times. I love it. It's a great city, great town, but it is hot in Savannah. Oh my God, is it hot. So Shakerin, yeah, tonight was really I was gonna sit down and film this box, or these 2 boxes, and I said, you know, I have not done a live stream in like 2 months, and I keep thinking about doing one, and I said, you know, I'm just gonna throw a live stream up, and whoever joins, and I'm not gonna try to sell rolls. This is gonna be low key. We're just gonna hang out and chat, and that's what we're doing. And so not selling anything tonight. You know, I don't have any giveaways planned, but I'll be honest with the handful of you that are left. I'm probably going to find me a 40% half, and we'll give it away to somebody here in the chat as a thank you for hanging out. But this is not like a typical live stream that I would plan and, you know, have some giveaways or have some auctions or any of that kind of stuff. So just low key tonight. So Diggin' Dave, there are other hunters in my area. The banks that I go to, I am so I'll say it this way. I'm their main hunter, meaning if they get something in, they save it for me. And I know the one bank that, the one Fifth Third that I get most of these Brinks boxes for, they tell me all the time that, you know, somebody came in and wanted this box or wanted that, and we told them we didn't have anything because, you know, we're getting this stuff for you, and we don't want to start making this a regular thing for a lot of people. So I'm very fortunate that I have a couple of banks that we have a good enough relationship that they're, you know, I'm not getting edged out by others. I did go to a Wells Fargo up on, if you're familiar with, you know, the Marietta, sort of Roswell, Kennesaw area, called Dallas Highway, and I went into a Wells Fargo there and asked them if they had halves, and they said, oh, we have 8 boxes of halves in the vault. And I was like, sweet, are they bank wrapped? And the lady said, no, we got them from a guy just like you. And I said, okay, never mind, I don't want them. I mean, they saw me for what I was the second I walked in the door. So they have a regular as well, which I thought was pretty funny. Well, that's good, Tom. I think that's a good way to do it. 2 that get put out, 2 that you give back. Well, Trenton, that's terrible. Now, you said you finished a box of quarters. Were you looking for all the errors and varieties, or were you just hunting for silver, or what were you doing? Because I hear people say they get skunked by quarters all the time, and I don't know if I've ever had a skunk box of quarters where I literally didn't find anything. Like, not even an Arizona extra cactus error, or, you know, not a single die chip on the crossing the Delaware, or, like, I always find something. I mean, I've had some boxes where I only found 2 or 3 things, but most of my quarter boxes, I end up with, you know, 10, 15, 20 finds. Not all of them are great, but they're something. Oh, okay, well. If you hunt for everything. Oh, I'm just catching back up on the chat. So, ex-Soul Dreamers, hello there. I'm from Canada. The 50-cent rolls at the bank here are not available, unfortunately. I want to go to... So, where are you from in Canada, Soul Dreamers? Are you close to the border? Could you get to an American city? Oh, Diggin' Dave, thank you, sir, for hitting that like button. And I was going to say, if you're only hitting the like button because we find silver, you're not getting many likes on some of your videos. I'm just teasing. Okay, I know you've struggled in your live streams from time to time finding silver. It's been rough, I know. Okay, we have exactly 3 rolls left for me to open. All right, Jersey Stacker. Good to see you. I was talking about you earlier when that night we did the big 3-way live stream with Bullion Baby. So glad you could stop in and hit that like button. I appreciate it. Yeah, so Soul Dreamers, if you can get across the border, I mean, find an American buddy and just go to a bank, and I'm sure you could find some $50 or get them to order some for you. I think Canadian money's gotten crazy. I was up in, not Toronto. Where was I? Up near Edmonton, whatever the big city. We were in Edmonton too. I can't remember the name of the city we were at, but like I ended up getting some money out of the machine to buy some silver from a coin shop, and The $20 bills were like see-through. It was crazy. Canada has the coolest money. All right, last roll. We got lots of shiny. So something else that's amazing, guys, is we went through this 2 boxes. We did $1,000 in halves and did not find a single 2021 or 2022. That is unbelievable that we didn't find any brand new quarters or relatively brand new quarters. Yeah, so Trenton, the die chip on the hat, you got to find the big one, but that's what I'm talking about. So, you know, in my videos, you hate covering the same stuff over and over again, but that's why I don't like to say I have a skunk box. If I find 10 Crossing the Delawares that have the die chip, at least I had 10 of them with a die chip. Aaron 2 just subscribed. So somebody probably painted that because it's just a 1984, so I'm not going to call that a miscellaneous, but somebody used a marker to color that in, it looks like. Welcome, Aaron. You'll be able to chat here probably in just about a minute if I recall how I set this up. So, Frankenbeans, I'll say thank you for listening, and I'm sorry that you had to listen to me drone on. But thank you so much for hanging out. And I'll tell you, like, Hunting Southwest Ohio was in here earlier. I tend to hunt a lot while I'm watching his live streams as well. I have a video from earlier this year where he was mid-hunt and I was mid-hunt, and I actually made a comment in my video about something he was covering in his live stream, and then made sure to call him out. And I'm like, you need to go to 4 minutes into the video I post tonight because you'll see where I was calling you out in my video. So I just thought that was kind of a neat little weird meta angle for the video. So if you were in his live stream, there was a joke or whatever that made more sense to you. Sorry, I just dropped a bunch of $50. Yeah, the Canadian stuff, it's just different. I mean, it's pretty and it's just different, you know? Actually, Soul Dreamer, I'm sorry, guys. I got to pause for a second. I got to ask you something. If you know much about, numismatically Canadian currency, I want to show you something. Because I don't know how much it's worth. That's what I want to know. Oh, legs hurt. Been sitting too long. So, Soul Dreamers, I probably should have finished this. My hands are all dirty. Sorry. So, I've seen the $1 Canadian bill. This is, I think, the Centennial $1 Canadian in a wrap. Like, I've seen these in a collectible way, right? So, just by itself. I had never seen this, and this is why I bought it. So, it is all connected. It is like one collector's piece of the Centennial dollar, half dollar, quarter, nickel, dime, and penny from that year. And I think we've got 80% silver in all 4 of these coins. So if you know, and I've tried to find this on eBay. It's been a while since I last looked, but I can find just this, and I can find just this, but I've never seen it as sort of a collector's item with it all part of the same cellophane, almost like proof setup, right? Or mint setup. So, Soul Dreamers, if you know anything about that, or if you know what that would be worth, or if you've ever seen it before, would love to hear from anybody in the chat, really. But I think it's pretty cool, and I actually have 2 of them. And I got them at, I think, like spot. Like, it was an amazing deal. Yeah, Trenton, I've stopped looking for the 6th claw error because it is literally 90% of that coin have the die chip. So Shakerin, honestly, the cheapest way to get silver is what I'm doing right now. If you can get coins, you can't find 90% silver, any kind of silver, any cheaper than face value 90% constitutional. Everything else you're going to pay some kind of premium for. You know, I love your question about can I get scraps that came off the, you know, the machine line or something like that, but I wouldn't know where you'd even begin to do that. And I can tell you if it's worth money, some corporation, if they're spitting out bits of silver, you know they're cleaning every bit of that up, so they're not losing money. $19.16 Canadian cent. That's nice. So $14.50 on your W is nice. It's either in really good shape or it's like the American Memorial Park. Because I've seen a lot of the W's lately going for, you know, $8, $9, $10. So if there's, I think 2 of the W's still commanding pretty good money. American Memorial Park is one. Maybe it's like River of No Return is the other. So yeah, Busby, I mean, once you get your brain around it, you'll be fine listening and doing it at the same time. It's like anything. I get asked, you know, how can I just flip through these coins so fast? I've seen Silver Seeker get asked that question a million times, and it's, you know, once you know exactly where you're looking on the coin based on the orientation, you can just rip right through them. I mean, every now and then you'll throw one down you mean to keep, but 97, too bad that wasn't an 87. I don't care about that one. All right. So that was box number 1, and we were officially silver skunked. So Soul Dreamers, I've seen those 67 set a lot of times. They're pretty common here. For the whole set, they're worth around 30 USD. All right, well, that's good to know. I figured with the dollar being attached, it might be have a higher premium. I mean, I basically paid spot for the silver value, and I maybe gave them a US dollar for the dollar that was in it. So I probably paid 27, 28 bucks for it because that's about what I think it's worth in spot, or maybe it's a little less than that. But so good. All right, cool. Hey, Baldy McBaldy. You are catching us right at the end, so I got to get through all of these coins looking for errors, and then we will do a small little giveaway to thank everybody for being here, and we're going to call it a night. So let me flip back over here. So if you have any parting questions, any final questions for me, anything you want to know, anything else you guys want to talk about, now would be the time, because I'm going to get through these, and we'll wrap this up, and you guys can get to bed or whatever you're doing next. That 72 definitely had an FG. I don't know why I put that in that stack, but yeah, definitely. Those are all 80% silver for sure. I knew that. S. Martin, if that question's for me, I started coin roll hunting about 6 months before I started my YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel, I think, went live in February of 2020. And the funny thing is, I started my YouTube channel because my son who was like 8 years old at the time, wanted to try being a YouTuber, which he was young and I knew he was going to grow bored with it pretty quickly. And he was bragging about how he had, 50 subs or 75 subs, and I was like, I'm going to try doing this coin roll hunting thing because I had seen Rob Finds Treasure and other people and said, how hard could it be? And if you go back and watch my early videos, they are terrible. They're not great. But I've turned it into kind of a fun hobby and I think a pretty neat channel, and I enjoy doing it. And I think you guys enjoy watching. So now I like to remind him that he stopped at like 75 subs or whatever he had. And I'm approaching like 6,000. So I have fun with it pretty regularly. Digging Dave says, what is the face reveal? So you and I think Nacho Stuff and somebody else, maybe it was Rick, has asked me when the face reveal is coming. And for the longest time, it was really my wife who was the one who was like, I really don't want you showing your face on camera. And I said, fine. And now I've just got so used to being a pair of hands on the TV that, or on the video, that I haven't, given a whole lot of thought to face reveal. But I figure one of these days I'll set up a webcam and you guys can see my ugly mug while I'm coin roll hunting. So I did get an interview once. This was probably a year ago. And I don't even remember the channel, who it was, but they were like, hey, we have this big coin collecting and coin roll hunting thing, and you're an up-and-coming channel, and you were recommended to us by people to get on here and talk to, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, sure, I'll do it. And I said, but the one thing is I don't show my face. I don't go on camera. So, you can put my logo up. I'm happy to answer questions, but I don't, I have never been on camera. And they said, oh, that's no problem. Well, we get to like the day before this whole thing's supposed to go down, and they want to do a trial run, and we connect everything, and the guy's like, well, turn on your camera so we can see like your background and what you're going to look like on camera. And I said, this is all you get. And they canceled my interview. And so I was like, okay. Well, somebody didn't read all the emails I sent them. So that was pretty funny. 10K face reveal. All right, 10K, I'll do it. That's the number. 10,000 subs, we'll do a face reveal. Found a few Canadian silver dimes. Let's see here. 10K. Coin flip. Dave, my stickers are supposed to be here Monday. Hey, everybody. Just so you know, I actually got real legit stickers. Let me do this real quick. Live stream. I got legit stickers from Sticker Mule. So I went through. I owe about 14 or 15 people these stickers, so I've got them put aside. And unfortunately, there's 3 or 4 that I don't think they still have their YouTube channel. So I'm doing my homework to see who of those people I can send these to. But if you order anything from me, if you win anything, if you want to do a sticker trade, I actually have legit stickers now, which is cool because my other ones were homemade and they were terrible. But these came in the mail, I want to say Monday maybe. So I was very excited about these. Not that they look just like the logo right there. But I was excited to get those because I've been waiting for Sticker Mule to do their special for like 6 months. Because I think $68 for 50 stickers is a lot of money, but $19 for 50 stickers is a pretty good deal. I typically don't look at the T and the Y on that 74. I probably should, because I know there's like a FS 104 or a 102 or something like that for the doubling just in the T and the Y, but I typically don't look at that. Let's see here, Shaker. Do you know of any companies that sell truly unsearched foreign coins by the pound that you might find silver in? So the answer to that, and I've asked multiple venues, so golden coin shops, regular coin shops, how I can get unsearched constitutional silver, and they always laugh at me and they say, look, any bag of silver or coins you're going to get has been searched by somebody. Now, was it searched by us or the people we got it from or the people they got it from? You'll never know, but you have to count on any of that stuff you get has been searched, which I don't disagree with that assessment. So I don't know of any company that if they tell you it's unsearched, they're probably lying. I know anything on eBay that says it's unsearched, do not trust it. So no, I don't know of any way to get something truly unsearched. Greg, it's nice to know someone else in Georgia that's CRH. Greg, where are you from? So Trenton, what did he hook you up with? What kind of rolls did you get? Well, Jesse, I'm glad I inspired you. I appreciate you telling me that. That's cool. I'd love to know that people watched and were inspired to do this, even though I know for a fact that I get one dislike on every video, and it's from a guy that just pipes in every now and then about how he hates me for teaching people how to do this, which I think is pretty funny. But anyway. Soul Dreamers, very few Canadian 25-cent 1960 Bobcats had an error. It was struck in the wrong planchet. It was made of nickel instead of silver. They are worth a lot of money. Well, I don't know if my 2 sets have that, but I'll take a look. Liberty Coins finally showed his face a few months back. All right. Scoping 71D, 72, 73D, 74D, 77D. Am I wrong on some of them? And so 71D. No, those are all the ones I scope. Plus, and I don't scope the 70. So now you got me thinking. The 72P that has the no FG, the 82, and I might have it backwards. I think it's a 72D. The 82 and the 83 with the no FG, I don't scope those anymore because I've figured out how to turn those in the light so I can see the raised metal. And if I can't see it with the naked eye, then I scope it. Jesse says that's a cool sticker, man. I appreciate that. That's awesome, Diggin' Dave. I wish that I had like some sort of affiliation with them and could make a couple of bucks for recommending it, but they don't do affiliate accounts. I just know there's a lot of YouTubers that either don't have stickers or need new ones, so I just wanted to spread the word. So, glad you were able to get it. So, hunting Southwest Ohio says unsearched is a myth. Yep. No such thing. So, yeah, Greg, Savannah, awesome, nice town. Friend in Macon. I know where Macon, Georgia is. It's about, I want to say about an hour and a half or 2 hours from here. Sorry, I'm trying to scope and read and talk at the same time, finding I'm not very good at it. Yeah, Macon isn't far. The only time we really talk about Macon, me and my buddies here, is when... no, it's not Macon, sorry. Macon is just out... I was thinking of where they do the Masters. Macon's not it. So Macon is kind of on the way to Savannah. So we drive through or around Macon anytime we go to Savannah. And anytime we drive to Orlando, we go right around Macon. Uh, 1946 S quarter. Off the top of my head, I don't know if that's a key date. I'd have to look that up. If you send books 1 and 2 for $1, Shaker, do you really want me to do dollars? Yeah, man, I could do that. Send me the books. I can start. I mean, I've turned down boxes of dollars in the past just because I don't want to get into them because it's going to cost me $1 for every one I plug in a book. But if you're paying for the books and you're paying for the dollars, man, I'll hunt them and plug those up for you. We'll make some videos out of that. Yeah, I mean, you see some of the bigger channels doing that at the coin shows. I live so far away from the big ones. I mean, Atlanta has a small coin show about once a month. I've never been. Let me turn this back on just to show the finds here. But I mean, I'd be happy to do it. It just would need to be somewhere nearby. I need to live. So S Martin, I would love to live stream more often than I do, but if you haven't heard me over the last couple of months, like my daughter does this like club level volleyball, and we're on the road so much, and on the weekends we're gone like all the time lately. I was in Minnesota last week. I was supposed to be in Orlando this week, and my wife bit the bullet and went to Orlando instead. Work has been killing me of late. Like today was the first day I actually had 30 minutes to run to the bank all week to pick up these $50. And so then when I start thinking about trying to film and post videos and plan for a live stream, it gets to be a bit overwhelming, but I don't disagree. I need to live stream more. So it's something I said I was going to try to do this year, and I just haven't kept that promise, but I hear you, and I will try my best to live stream more. So let's update my little board here. We had one more NIFC. Shoot, so I think that went to, yep, that went to 4. Proof goes to 1. Miscellaneous goes to 2. So we updated that. So give me a moment. So I would love to go metal detecting with any of you guys. I have a metal detector. I've used it just a couple of times. you know, I've probably found 83 cents in change, and it's all been current stuff. My problem is I don't have a lot of good old farmland near me that's easy to get to that I could go metal detecting for just an hour or 2 or 3. Most of the places I go, it's grass and it sucks to dig in, or it's public parks and you can get thrown out and all that kind of good stuff. But I do have a metal detector and I've used it a handful of times. Yeah, so this is my first live stream ever that I actually turned on commercials for. So apologies for that. I was curious if anybody was going to notice it and say something. But yeah, all my videos get monetized and I leave it to YouTube to figure out when to put commercials in. I used to like try to put them in myself, and now I just say YouTube wherever you want to add them. I personally hate all the ads, but I will say that this is how we get monetized and can get paid back for a lot of the time we put into it. So I hate them like you do, but I also love them because when they play, I get a couple of cents every time one plays. So apologies, but it is what it is. So anyway, I don't know how many people are left in the chat, but let me find like a $50 we can give away here or something that's got some silver in it. What do you guys think? Oh, you want me to give away a walker? I don't know about a walker. That's a 90% piece of silver. So what year? 65 through 69. What year do we want to give away? Will they pay you for the commercials? Yeah, so the way you get monetized on YouTube is basically the commercials that play, you get some small dollar figure for every 1,000 views you get that commercials are tied to. Y'all put in what you want. I'll take whatever. Yeah, 70. Good luck with that. Did I say 70? I think I said through 69. I only have, I think, one 1970 that I found coin roll hunting, so we're definitely not giving that away. 65, 69, 66, 69. So right now, 69 has the most bids. 71 on a silver planchet. Yeah, Dave. If I had one of those, I'd be auctioning that off somewhere. All right, 65. I think that's going to be the winner. Is this all 65s? It is. Let me get dump a couple of minutes out of here. Just kidding. There we go. $19.65. You guys can hear that. Sounds like silver, doesn't it? Hold it up real close so you guys can see it. Not a bad looking 65. It's got a little schmutz or something on it there in the corner, but it is what it is. It's free silver. All right, so I tell you guys what. I'm going to refresh this page just so we get everybody out. Why don't you guys leave a comment, say anything in the comment. I'm not going to do it by keyword, but just say something. We'll give you about a minute. And I'm going to share my desktop here so you guys can see. Your name should be populating over here if you have said something in the chat so that you can be, I don't think I have any mods, but I'll include them. And we'll just let the random comment picker pick a winner. And if you win, shoot me your name, shoot me an email with your name and mailing address. And I'll get this out to you as soon as I can. So you guys know, for these kind of GAW wins, I do not put them in like padded envelopes and spend like $5 to ship them. I've shipped lots of this stuff this way. It'll be secured, but in a taped envelope with just a stamp on it. It will get to you unless the post office decides to do something stupid. But I have never had one of these get lost before. Fingers crossed it won't happen on this one, but it will just go in the mail. So you still need an O2P and D for your book, ENR. Keep hunting. You'll find them. I've got, I don't know if I have extras, but I have some for books that I'm selling in my store. Thanks, Greg. You know, I always call these videos. Part of me wanted to start calling all of my episodes shows, right? Because at the end of the day, that's really what they are. Is they're little 15-minute shows or 10-minute shows that you guys graciously come and watch. I have found lately I'm letting some commenters get under my skin, and I need to stop. I just have people come in and they'll just say like something hateful, and then I feel the need to respond, and I need to just let it go. But I do appreciate all of you guys for coming, watching my stuff, and leaving comments, sharing with your friends. So I really, really do appreciate it. So we got a lot of people in here. Keep chatting. I'll just keep talking for a minute. And like I said, for a pop-up, I think we had a lot of viewers today. Thank you guys for coming and just hanging out, because this was a lot more fun than me sitting here all by myself hunting coins. So I have a voice for radio. I had somebody the other day say I didn't sound like I was from the South. And the thing is, I can turn it on and I can turn it off, but I've lived all over the place. So my accent is wherever I'm at or whoever I want it to sound like. So I'm sure in some of my videos I do sound really Southern. Some I probably sound Northern. It's pretty funny. But and when I'm around my friends, it's really thick Southern. So all right, well, I think I've yammered on long enough. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll it here. I'm going to leave this up on the screen so you guys can see it. American Samoa W, good for you, man. We're going to say roll it. Like I said, shoot me an email within 7 days. Hopefully you'll do it as soon as you win, because I don't want to wait. But if you don't email me, I'll just keep it. I don't mind leaving it in my stack. That happens too from time to time. But again, I need your name and your mailing address. And if you could also put your YouTube screen name in there in case it's different than your actual name, so I can tie the two together. Because, you know, your name might be Coin Flip, but then you send me something and you're John Smith, and I don't know if that's accurate. So include your screen name. So with that, like I said, thank you guys for hanging out for something I didn't even plan on doing. This was a lot of fun. And I know I said we weren't going to give anything away, and here we are doing it. So good luck to everyone. In 3, 2, 1. Rolling it. Oh God, it's the Canadian. Soul Dreamers, you have won. So Soul Dreamers, I will tell you, I've put stuff in an envelope. I have never sent anything to Canada. So shoot me a email. What I may do, depending on how much it costs to send this to Canada, I will extend the offer to give you the cash value of this 40% silver. Just simply because, like I said, I don't want to spend $5 to ship you a $3.80 coin. So shoot me an email. We'll chat. We'll figure something out. But if you really, really just want this, because I know you said you wanted some U.S. silver, that's what you're going to pay a lot to ship that to Canada. I would rather not. So let's take it offline. Shoot me an email. You and I will work it out. But I will definitely make sure you get at least the silver value, you know, and the value of this 40% half dollar to you, because you did win, and I don't want you to miss out on that. All right. So thank you so much. And DJR, I didn't know if you were in, but good to see you, buddy. We're closing things down. And again, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Take care. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.